Hey everybody, it's Frank and Shaney. We're out on the Finger Lakes trails here in upstate New York. We happen to be near the Letchworth State Park area. We're going to be coming up on the Letchworth Dam. And as we were walking out to the trailhead here, we got surprised by the sound of all these migratory birds that are down in here. I'm going to try and zoom in down here, down below. But that's all I can hear as we're standing here. I don't know if you can hear it or not, or whether it's too far away to hear. But we're going to be taking a hike up the trail today, a couple of miles, just to see what's going on. Obviously the fall foliage is gone, but we just wanted to get out and spend some time and get some exercise today. So we'll catch up with you in a little bit. Hey everybody, so this is a little bit farther back in. This is in the really nice trail systems. I've never really hiked a whole lot of the Finger Lakes trails. I've done some short sections on them in other areas, in particular out by where our ski lodges that we like to go to. But I'm noticing, I'm going to stop here for a second and I'm going to show you something. I just discovered these. And if you look close enough, they look like lean-tos where somebody's put up enough branches and enough down trees that you could actually get in there out of the weather if you wanted to. And then the other way out here is the Genesee River Gorge that travels north in upstate New York out to Lake Ontario. It empties out onto Lake Ontario, which eventually empties out to the St. Lawrence Seaway. And it's just such a beautiful area to get to and get time to get out to hike. And for a long time I didn't have the time to come down here. I remember talking to you during some of my training for the Appalachian Trail that, you know, these places are a couple hours away. Well, one of the news flashes and updates on this trip is that I have since retired since I took off to go to the Appalachian Trail. And coming back, my company wanted me to come back to work, and I've decided that it's time to retire and just enjoy this kind of life a little bit more. You know, at my age, I don't need to go back to work, although I love my job so much. So I just wanted to get an update on where we are here on the trail, and then get some more hiking in. Talk to you in a little bit. Thanks a lot. Hey everybody. I just thought I'd get a couple of minutes of view of the trail to see what it looked like, and for everybody out there to see what it looked like. These areas are just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, our state's known for the Adirondack Mountains and for the Catskill Mountains, but in between are all these highland and valley areas, and the Finger Lakes trails just have to represent that. If you're not from upstate New York and you look at a map, you'll see a series right in the middle of the state, a series of lakes that run north and south that look like someone put a palm print or a fingerprint down in the valley, and they're all glacier formed from a long time before I was put on this earth. And the lakes are just, there's so much recreation in them. There's swimming and boating and skiing, and we even have some U.S. government submarine research work that goes on in one of the deepest lakes that we have here. And everything off to the side I've never really paid attention to until I started doing some serious long distance hiking, and then I found out that we had this series of trails that the Finger Lakes Trail Organization has put together on a smaller scale, very much like what the AT does or what the PCT people do or the CDT people do. It's just on a smaller scale. And a lot of it's gone missing and people don't see it. So I'm hoping that when people see what's out here and just this little bit that I can show you in video and bring to you and kind of promote, that more people get out here. I'm sure this is very well used by the local people, but I'm wondering how many people from the bigger city areas know about all this. So, but I'm gonna let you go. I'll talk to you in just a little bit. Thanks for watching. Off in the distance over there in the back, you can start seeing where the limestone starts forming in the valley here. Farther up, and I don't know if we're going to get all the way up there today, but it's sheer limestone cliffs, well, 300 to 400 feet high, and down into the gorge. Now this gorge is accessible from the far end of the park down by a village called Perry, and in the central part of the park they do hot air balloon rides that follow this trail down the park, and they also do rafting and tubing and kayaking down the river. But right now we're north of one of the biggest pieces of engineering on this stuff. Is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers built what's called the Mount Morris Dam to stop flooding. And at one point this river used to run full many years ago when it was just farmland around here. And the Army Corps of Engineers built this dam, and I'll get the date on it for you, but it was back before I was born. I remember being a small child coming down here, my father bringing me here and showing me the dam, and I just thought it was amazing. And one time, literally, the dam being 300 to 400 feet high, we literally did see the water all the way to the top during a bad storm area here in upstate New York. But I just wanted to try and get a view of everything that's around us and the sounds that we're hearing. I wasn't expecting to hear all the migratory birds down here. I was expecting it to be more along the lines of when I was on the approach trail on the AT, where it was so quiet that you could sometimes hear a jet go over way high in the air. So, but this is just as enjoyable. Talk to you in a little bit. So we just broke out on the trail and come out onto this, and this appears to be like the area for the Army Corps of Engineers. And way off in the distance there, you can see that little white car over there. I think that's where we're heading to get back out to be able to see the dam. But this is a little unexpected and not too confusing. We're just going to stick with the trail markers and see where everything goes. But we can't hear the river. We can't hear the geese anymore. We can't hear the migratory birds. But we've got another blaze right here to follow. So let's see where that takes us. And I got a feeling if we cut across this field, we're gonna see where we need to be. Let's see. Yeah, the only blaze marking is right here on the tree. So yeah, I'm thinking that this, like this mowed piece of grass here, is supposed to be.
I see more markings up there.
Yeah, okay. So Shani says she can see more markings up there. So that's where we're heading, kids. But this is quite a facility here, and I'm thinking this is where they live and work. Oh, hey, look, Finger Lakes Trail Conference. This is the Finger Lakes Trail area's home back in here. This is one of their meeting places, and this must be for the Army Corps of Engineers here. And yes, I can see a nice little small bridge over a little creek here. So we'll talk to you in a minute. I'm trying to get a shot of this without the sun reflecting on it. But this is nature at its finest. And the sign talks about leaving the plants in a chaotic manner that they would be found in the wildlife, and then letting them drop and go back into the soil and enrich the soil. And this being an area for butterflies and whatnot during the summer for pollen, but then the animals, small animals in the winter. This area, if you're not familiar with the Finger Lakes region of New York, is known for its snow. In another 2 months, if we get a normal winter, you won't be able to be back in here. These roads won't be passable, and they'll be completely covered in snow. So all the little animals will need as much food as they can possibly get. And this is a little something that basically commemorates the building of the dam from the original gorge, unmolested throughout all of the work. And then the final portions of the dam. So this dam, and I was saying that it was here before my time, and apparently I was correct. The dam construction took from 1948 to 1952. So they would have been finishing it just as I was born. And that would be why when I came down here as a little boy, about 5 or 6 years old, my dad brought me and showed me the whole place. Now, this is what the dam looks like today. So you can see those gorges. Now that dam is about 300 foot high, and you can see that the gorge is even higher than that. At one point in time, the water that's back in here was filled all the way to the top of this dam and was spilling over. They actually had to open up the spillway to keep the dam from being injured, broken in any way. And now that was the deepest I'd ever seen the water. And I don't know that it's ever done it more than once, but it was enough for me. So let's go out and take a look at the dam. I'll talk to you in a bit. Guys, as I was walking out of this pavilion, I spotted this. The sign says there were 400 men that worked on this. 2 of them died during the construction of the bridge, or the construction of the dam. And it appears that every one of them has their name and title on a brick that's been placed in this pavilion. What a fitting monument to the people. And there it is. Look at that. So there's actually more water out in front of the dam that's been released than there is coming down the back side. Now, if you can imagine that stone wall over there is well over 500 feet high. It's just wild crazy, the natural resources we have here. And I'm just stunned again by the number of migratory birds. There's geese down in here, there's ducks down in here. I wouldn't doubt that there's the blue herrings that occupy our area during the summer. We have lots of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they're down in there also. And it appears that this tower over here is the entranceway to get down to that area down below. It appears to be in line with the dam. Yep. Yeah, restricted access, so I'm not going to knock on the door. But that's just stunning view. And it appears that there seems to be some sort of man-made water director right there. It looks like a yellow hose coming down the other side of the gorge. I can't imagine working on this and building this thing. It's just amazing. Talk to you in a little bit.
It's like someone put up a paper, like cardboard cutout thing.
So we just came across this in the woods at one of the turns. And it looks so realistic that I think it is, but Shani thinks it might be just a cardboard cutout. So we're going to wander up there to the turn because we have to walk right up underneath him to make the turn. So we're going to go up there and see what we find. And yeah, now that I move over this way, Shani is right. It is a cardboard cutout, but damn, it looks real. I was really impressed. I really wanted to see him. No 3 dimensions here, kids. Okay, later. Just some peace and quiet on the trail, people. thing about hiking in fall here is that these leaves do make it a bit slippery on the downhills and on the uphills, but this trail's been pretty forgiving, to be quite honest with you, in regards to hills and ups and downs. So the one that Shani and I did back on Labor Day, we spent time in the Adirondack Mountains. I've got another video that may or may not come out before this one does, where we went to Hurricane Mountain and summited Hurricane Mountain. That had some pretty strong significance for us, because that was my test going back out on some heavy hiking since I got back from the AT. And there'll be more detail about that. I'm going to be completely transparent about what happened out there. It was a bit of a shocker, but that'll be saved for another video. But Hurricane Mountain was the test bed, and was very successful, and gave me the confidence to be back out here again and know that everything's going to be okay. But let's see where we go. There we go. Okay, back down through the leaves. And if I fall, you're all going to get to see it. But, and like that, we are suddenly back out to the gorge. And my life partner and love of my life is coasting down the hill at a little bit faster pace, because she didn't feel like she was going to not fall. So,
I started sliding.
You tried sliding?
Yeah, I started sliding. I was like, oh, it'll be better if I just jog down.
Now I'm just going to stop and take just a little look over the edge here and see. Oh, hey, remember where we made the turn to go up there? Here's the other trail.
Yeah,
That was the one that would have kept us next to the edge all the time. And that was the dam right there. We're back this way again. And if you listen, I'm hearing a siren off in the background. It's not the noon siren, because it's past noon for now, but I just wanted to see the ducks and listen to them again. Talk to you in a little bit. I wanted to capture the sheer distance down from the trail and how steep these sides really are. And I'm only seeing halfway down here in this area. I passed by an area I could have gotten a little earlier, but maybe we'll come across another piece. But we're really way up high over the river, and where the wildlife is all hanging out now, all the migratory birds. But this trail is just never-ending beauty. I can only imagine what a night vision camera would give away here in the dark at night, because there are and have been for a while now, probably a couple of decades, we do have black bear in this area now, and we have coyotes and whatnot, just in smaller wildlife. I'm waiting for them to say that they have found some of the first large bobcat and larger cat species coming up from the south up here. But for now, the black bear is good enough. It's good to see them in the area. We know they've made it as far north as the Montezuma Swamps, which is probably about another 100 or so miles north of here at the other end of a lake, and in a large wildlife refuge that covers several hundred, if not 1,000 acres for the migratory birds and the wildlife in the area. A couple of years ago, a sportsman was arrested and convicted of killing a black bear that had gotten that far north, and it was a young male, so we know that there must be a breeding pair around. There must be a bull and a sow someplace, and so the hopes of them increasing in numbers here is quite high, and a lot of the outdoor people like myself are very anxious to see that. So Well, this is what we're getting to enjoy today. See you later.